Hi everybody, welcome to our shop. Today we have a fun project. Recycled Christmas cards. Everybody gets them, everybody sends them out. Most of the time people throw them out over the time of the year. But these are Christmas cards they probably won't throw out. Here's one I did. Right there's one, and then I did a horizontal one, this one right here. And I got this idea off Steve Good. And I just changed up a few things on it. But it's a nice way to recycle Christmas cards. And they make great decorations in the house. When you send these out to somebody, they're more likely not going to throw these out. They're going to probably hang them up and use them for decorations. But it makes a great gift. And it's an easy project to do. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do when you get your piece of Baltic birch is sand both sides really nice. And then you're going to want to cut the Baltic birch the width of your card. And the way I do that is I'm going to measure this card. And this card is 4 5/8. So I'm going to set my table saw up to 4 5/8. Then once I get the table saw set up to 4 5/8, I can take a piece of scrap wood, and that's what I usually do. So I take a piece of scrap wood and make a cut to make sure I got it exact width. Then I'll lay the card across here, and it looks really good. So I got it the right width. So I'll take my good piece of Baltic birch and make my width cut right here. So we have the piece cut for the width. Next thing we're going to want to do is cut for the length. And you can just eye this up. Make a little pencil mark here. And then you can cut that to the length. So the card should fit on that piece of wood that you cut right here. So that's basically how you get that. And we'll head over to the work table here and start doing the next couple steps here. Okay, so you got your piece of Baltic birch cut. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to apply some Mod Podge to that piece of wood. This is the matte Mod Podge. They got lots of different types of Mod Podge. But you're just going to take and apply some here. You want to stay going in one way when you put this on, probably. Make sure you get it on the edges. Okay, and we'll just set that aside for a minute. Come over here to the card. Now you don't want to get Mod Podge on the front of that card. We're going to put some on the back of this card. And like I say, stay going one direction, probably be the best way to do it. Take it right off to the edge. Okay, once you get it on there, you're going to take your card, put it on your piece of wood. And Mod Podge is made for this, so it'll give you a little time to get things set where you want to put it. And you want to concentrate around the edges, because they tend to want to pop up as you do this. And some of the card might hang over. You're going to trim that off later. I got this roller here. It's good for getting the air bubbles out. I haven't had too much trouble with air bubbles. But it will squeeze out the edges. You want to kind of clean up a little bit. But like I say, concentrate on the edges here to get them down, to stay down. This Mod Podge is basically a glue and sealer all at once. You can see here the edges are down pretty good. And periodically you probably want to come back and check these edges. You don't want these to pop up. But actually that looks pretty good. So you're going to want to let this dry for about at least a half an hour. Could be overnight if you do more of them. Just let it sit overnight. So we'll let this dry, and then we'll be back to finish it up. Okay, it's been about an hour. The card is dry. What you're going to want to do next, get yourself a hard cutting surface here. The card is hanging over just a little bit. You can feel it. You're going to want to trim that off. So take an X-Acto knife, and hopefully this light doesn't affect the video. But go along the edge right here and trim that excess card off. It might not be too much, but you can trim it off so it's smooth. You're going to go around the whole card. Trimming off that little excess card that's hanging over. And it might only be hanging over one or two sides. And I would make sure you got a sharp X-Acto knife. So it actually feels pretty good here. Maybe a little bit right there. Actually, the card looks pretty good. And then you're going to want to just take some sandpaper, just sand these edges just a little bit, just to get a little bit of residue off, maybe from the Mod Podge. That actually looks pretty good. So once you got all that, you're going to want to hang the card. So you got to put a couple holes in the top of the card. I usually just put them up here in the corner. Oh, probably about a 1/2 inch from the top, 1/2 inch in. Just kind of mark a couple holes. I see right here a little bit. Just want to make sure you got that trimmed off real good. Okay, got that all trimmed off nice. We'll head over to the drill press and drill these holes. Or actually, no. We're not going to drill them holes yet. What you want to do next is put your Mod Podge on the top of this card. You're going to put 1 coat of this Mod Podge on top of this card. And it goes on white, but it dries clear. And this is where it's important to where you need to stay in one direction. Get it all the way to the edge. Stay in one direction. And you can see the white, but like I say, this will all dry clear. You won't even see it. So that's pretty much for that. Got it trimmed. I marked the holes where I'm going to drill it. And then I got my first coat of Mod Podge on there. So we'll let that dry. It's going to be probably about another half an hour to an hour. So we'll be back, and then we'll drill the holes and put the string on it. Okay, we're at the drill press here. We got holes marked where we're going to put the holes so we can hang the card up. So I'll quick drill them. And I'm using a thin cord to hang this, so whatever you're going to use to hang it, just make sure your drill bit is big enough to get the cord through what you're going to hang it. You don't want real big holes. So the next thing we're going to do is I buy these signature coins. I get them from Steve Good. They're laser cut, and they come in these sheets of 12. He's got them on his blog. You can email him and purchase them from him. He's got several different designs. These have our names on them. It says handcrafted by, and it's got our names on them. So they're really neat. And they just pop out of this sheet here, and they're made just they're 1 inch. They're 1 inch in diameter, so they're made just to pop in. And I usually put them right on the back of the card right here. It's kind of a neat thing because it's handcrafted by. You can put this on your projects. It just makes it look more professional. And with these here, when popping them out of this sheet, they usually have a little little part right there where it's connected. You can just take and sand that off a little bit. That little part right there. And then they're only about 1/8 inch thick. And you use a 1 inch Forstner bit to do this. And what I did was, because you want to drill this hole in the back of this card or any project that you're doing, but you only want to go as deep as this little thing here. And you don't want it too far in, you don't want it sticking out, so you want it flush with this back. So what I did was I created a template right here. And when I made that template, we'll put this bit in here. When I made that template, because I'm using a 1/4 inch for my project, I made the template out of 1/4 inch. And then I kept on drilling. I drilled until I got it to the depth that I needed it. Now, you'll see I got a hole drilled in the middle of this template. That's because when I made this, I wanted to get this signature coin back out. Because once you pop this in, it would be kind of hard to get it out. So you pop that in there. I got this template so it's nice and flush. So now I can just turn around and take a bit or something and pop that coin back out. And I know I got this set at the right depth. So what I do then is just take my drill press and run my Forstner bit down until it touches the bottom of that. And then I'll lock my drill press in at that depth. Now I know I have that at the correct depth using 1/4 inch for my project. So here's my card. Here's where the hanger goes. So I'm going to put down in the corner here, I'm going to put that signature coin. So now I know, with using that template, when I pop this signature coin in here, it's going to be flush. So we'll go back to the workbench. We'll glue this signature coin in and finish up this project. Okay, we're back. What we're going to do next is we're going to put some stain on here. I like to stain the back of these cards. And when I use golden oak, you can use whatever stain you want. And we'll put some stain on this. And it doesn't really take a whole lot, but it sure does make the card look really nice. And you could glue that signature coin in before you stain it. I kind of like it afterwards. It doesn't darken it up as much. And then you want to put some stain on the edges. And you really don't want to get the stain on the card. Just put a little on the edge. Wipe off any excess. That makes a really nice looking back. And then what you can do is I just put a little glue in here. I don't know if you can see it. I put a little glue. A little glue in there, and I just pop that signature coin in. And you can see that sits in there really nice and flush in there. That just makes it look really nice. And then we'll put the string on. And sometimes this is not as easy as it would seem. And you got yourself a loop here. Just take her and tie it up here. And you're pretty much done with the card. They can hang it, keep it for a lot of years. Okay, so that was a fun project. I think it turned out really good. These are fun to make. They really don't take that long. Thanks to Steve Good. He's got a lot of good projects on his blog. Ever since I've seen these done, I've made several of them. I made this one right here. And I made this one right here. So yeah, I've sent them out to friends already and family for Christmas cards. So yeah, they're fun to make. So I'll put a link to Steve Good down below. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I plan on doing more videos. So until then, just work safe and have fun.